Hello, everyone. This is Alpa Shah, social entrepreneur, author, and finance professional, founder, Empower Education, and managing trustee, Freedom Foundation. I have a very special guest with me today, Mr. A. Balasubramanian, who's the MD and CEO of Aditya Birla Sun Life AMC Limited. We all call him Bala Sir. Bala sir has served as MFI chairman for 2 years and currently he is on the board of MFI. Bala sir, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Alpa, and thank you for keeping me part of your show.
Bala sir has been a contributor not just for the Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund Company, but overall, everyone has tremendous respect for Bala sir. The mutual fund industry, prosperity, and Bala sir has seen the entire journey. Wherever we are stuck up anywhere, the first name which anybody remembers is Bala sir. Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund has finished 30 glorious years. What a journey! And Bala sir has been with the organization since beginning. Heartiest congratulations on that. Bala sir, can you share some memories? What is your message to all the mutual fund distributors, the investors? Well, you have seen this 30 years of growth of entire mutual fund industry, but what next 30 years you would like to give your message to?
Yeah, thank you, Alpa, and one is my pleasure to be part of the discussion today with you.
Thank you, sir.
And I must also mention that you are also known to me for the last almost 20 years,
Thank you, sir.
being part of the industry.
Yes, sir.
So, and I'm glad that I'm having this session today with you. See, I think 30 years, I mentioned about Aditya Birla Mutual Fund. Of course, the industry itself, since the time private sector entry came into the mutual fund industry, it's about 32 years we are completing. And I'm happy Aditya Birla Mutual Fund, coming from one of the largest household name in the country, which is a conglomerate, which is Aditya Birla Group, is completing 30 years.
Yes.
I think I would also say this is the first organization within the Aditya Birla Group to have a customer-facing organization, which is Aditya Birla Mutual Fund. And as you mentioned, I have also, of course, been with the firm for the last 30 years, being part of various functions, and today heading the AMC business. One thing that has, which of course, in terms of experience, if you have to share, I think when we started, of course, we started with zero. The AUM was 120 crores we collected in the first issue, and we also raised funds through the fixed income schemes. We launched an innovative product within a matter of, say, 1 year. Those days, products were very limited, and every product that we used to launch used to be looking new to the industry. And today, the entire product offerings have gone up quite significantly. More players have come, and I would ever imagine in my lifetime we'll be managing close to 3,50,000 crores of assets, 3,60,000 crores of assets. Could I ever imagine? At each time when we used to look at the business plan for next 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and 5 years, I always used to think that every number we put is unachievable numbers. At the same time, from an equity market point of view, I think the index was somewhere around 900. Whenever people used to ask about market view, the number always be 20% higher. That's it, nothing beyond that. We'll say 10,000 index when it will come, and 20,000 index when it will come. We used to always argue, 20 aega nahi, jaldi say, right? This is a feeling that we used to have. But today we are at 70,000 index.
Absolutely.
Is also something, is maybe if you look back, probably you would not have believed that's it happens. And third is, I still remember Aditya Birla Mutual Fund crossing 10,000 crores AUM. We had to literally put all the fight within the team and work together, reach out to the market, all kind of tamasha we have to do to cross 10,000 crores size. Even for doing an SIP, it used to be big push.
Yes.
From a hard sell, now it become an easy sell. So that's the way the whole transaction happened.
Yes.
So I think what makes me proud being part of the industry as well as Aditya Birla Mutual Fund. I think 30 years of experience gives you some sense of volatility, how you handle them. You go through various crises, you see ups and downs, and you still survive and you come up. That gives a lot of learning. That learning gives you to do better job the next cycle, but not necessarily not make mistakes. You'll make less mistakes. The cycle in which it goes. I think what makes me feel proud being part of ABSL Mutual Fund 30 years, you've seen cycles, you've seen people coming and going, you've seen market volatilities, you have seen world is coming to an end post global financial market crisis, and you have seen interest rates being hiked by 2%, 3%, you've seen interest rates being cut by 2%, 3%, multiple scams, impacting sentiment, but still we have grown in size and number of customers because that's what I think India provides. So that's the beauty of future of the mutual fund. Even going forward, we will not know answer to many questions that you may have in your mind, whether it is a market, whether it is a cyclicality, but still we will continue to see the market growing. Ultimately, the power of compounding stays for long term.
Absolutely, sir. What a journey. And there's a revolution in mutual fund industry. And to a great extent, leaders like Bala sir has immensely contributed and we are ever grateful to them. As you mentioned that the next 30 years, we all call it Amrit Kal, Suvarna Kal. What is your view? How and where our mutual fund distributors should put in a lot of efforts to upgrade themselves so that they can achieve multifold growth, especially in the space of technology, artificial intelligence, etc.
I think clearly from the next 30 years, I think mutual fund industry will grow faster than what you have seen in the last 30 years. It's like any new thing that comes, it takes some time to build momentum. Once you build momentum, that momentum builds higher momentum, therefore the build size, therefore the growth rate become faster. You'll probably see that happening in the next 30 years. Like how telecom industry, first 10 years versus next 10 years, and today we don't need to even talk about telecom industry revolution. Same thing will happen as well the mutual fund industry is concerned. From a distribution point of view, you'll have more customer to manage, you'll have more money to manage, and you'll have per capita income rising. You'll probably have more problem of plenty, you can probably call it, or maybe more opportunity, whichever way you want to look at it. Therefore, from the distribution point of view, the pie will only increase.
Okay.
The question is, I think more than AI. AI, of course, is only one part of it, artificial intelligence. But these are some of the things which will help you to derive information a bit more in a more scientific manner and a quick manner, so that speed to the customer can be maintained. Ultimately, from a distributor's distribution point of view, what will remain success, whether it is for AMC like us or our distribution partners, customer centricity has to be the top of the mind recall.
Correct.
I think if you put the customer center, anything that I'm doing in the best interest of the customer, as long as we are able to bring in customer obsession, taking into account the entire needs of him for the future. If the future is going to be bright, at the same time it's going to be challenging.
Yes, sir.
And when it comes to the question of creating wealth is more challenging. This is where I think the distributors can play a very large role.
Right, sir.
How we can become part and parcel of the family of every investors. I think that's an approach. Is a traditional model, absolutely no issues. Traditional model will continue to carry about weight of about 80%, which is nothing but caring for the customers, and which is differential based of service offering and so on and so forth. And also the technology adaptations, like we mentioned about OpenAI, all these things will come. How we actually adapt this
Correct.
technology and making your customer self-driven rather than being driven by control methodology. Because how we are able to enable your customers to access all the information that which otherwise you would have given
Correct.
using a technology, is able to actually take a decisions purely on the basis of his assessment. Therefore, uplifting knowledge of the investors would also be the equal responsibility of the both the AMC as well as the distribution community. I think that will remain.
Correct.
But from the as a business point of view, I think if the industry size becoming bigger and bigger, then naturally every income level rises. The wealth for the investors rises. As the wealth increases, income levels rises to the partners. As income level rises, power of compounding also comes in. So it's a win-win situation for everybody. I think what is most important in the whole piece is a stay with confidence, convictions, faith. What has happened in the last 30 years can happen in the next 30 years faster.
Faster. Yes, completely agree with
Yeah.
you, sir. Thank you so much for throwing light on how mutual fund distributors or investor should think on next 30 years journey. And I must once again congratulate Bala sir in Hindi if I say आपने अपनी पूरी जवानी दे दी है म्यूचुअल फंड इंडस्ट्री के ग्रोथ के लिए इससे बड़ा बलिदान और कोई क्या दे सकता है very recently, Empower Educations Go Beyond to Grow Beyond, which is launched for uplifting, upgrading, and also preparing mutual fund distributors community for the next 30 years to make the best of Amrit Kal. Well, we cover various topics like how to design one page goal plan, artificial intelligence, digital, which is the new word, right? Which every distributor will have to learn. How to acquire NRI, HNI, women clients on board, how to conduct very effective investor awareness program and bring in first time investor on board, how to deal with youth, Gen Z, they say, and of course, succession planning, data, etc. Bala sir, you are a visionary, and we all look upon you as far as mutual fund industry growth is concerned. What is your view? What are those few skills which every mutual fund distributor will have to acquire to be in the race and to be in the space of mutual fund distribution?
I think thanks Alpa for this question. I think clearly, if you look at from the distribution point of view, the as I mentioned, the pie will only keep rising. The pie rising, and the next gen will come, and the cost of living in general will go up quite significantly. Whether it is education, whether it is owning a house, whether it is anything material that you need to buy, I think cost will keep rising. Therefore, the role that the distributors will play in every family's life, I think is going to be significantly higher than the role that would have played in the last number of years. Planning for their future, using the financial goal planning, as you mentioned, I think will remain key. That's not going to change. Okay, financial planning, goal planning, I think will remain forever. It's like I call it as a 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, whether it's 19th century or 20th century or 21st century, it remains the same. Therefore, financial planning from distributors' point of view, that will remain the core. And second, of course, is the is the as the generation becomes more and more ambitious, I think planning entails the needs of the customers, including helping them how to ways and means of financing. See, sometimes wealth creation is only one part of the work that the service that we can do. But in addition to that, source of financing, I think one has to, of course, build the capability. How I can pay a holistic solution to the customer need. I think that will again remain key because we can't have multiple points of contacts, and whether distributors can be a single point enabler every needs of his customer, whether he can keep himself as a go-to person all the time, and whether he can make himself as a highly dependable person all the time. At the end of the day, everyone needs a person responsible with high honesty and at the same time committed to make money for the customers in every respect. Therefore, bring that as part of the whole the character that one has to have is something will remain key because as the systems gets more and more better, as the technology gets evolved, you will find a competition coming not from your own peer groups. Competition will come from the robotic advisories.
Right, sir.
And ultimately, robotic advisory is not made independent of the human advisory. So therefore, how the human advisory can actually play a larger role in every aspects of the customer's life, I think will remain key.
Yes, sir. Completely agree with you, sir. Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund is one of the pioneer in mutual fund industry to spread financial literacy and one of its kind. Their contribution is immense in spreading financial literacy amongst corporate employees, women, youth, professionals, and even the lower strata income group people. They have decided to build a very strong nation through all these beautiful initiatives which they have continuously taken in past 30 years. Some of them are Sahyog, Win with SIP, Think Like 30, My First Paycheck, and very dear to my heart is For Her initiative. I'm so blessed and fortunate that I'm one of the brand ambassadors For Her, which is completely empowering, educating, and enhancing the knowledge for women. I'm super impressed with Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund, such beautiful initiatives. What is your view and what is your thought behind launching all these beautiful initiatives throughout the years and what is there in future for all of us?
Yeah. No, thanks, Alpa. I think you're mentioning about you are part of that For Her program that we
Yes,
initiated,
sir.
and thanks for your
Thank
contribution in
you.
making this initiative as one of the successful
Thank you.
initiative. I must mention, and then go back in the memory, in 2012, when the financial literacy was given higher importance by the regulator, by asking us to keep aside a kitty of funds
Yes, sir.
wanted to carry out financial literacy activities. We as a fund house were the first one to introduce a separate team of people to have a dedication, 100% dedication towards improving the financial literacy in the country. In fact,
Amazing.
when we were doing it, a lot of apprehension. Should we have a separate team? Should we have it in the same part of the sales team?
Yes,
I
sir.
said nothing doing it. That cannot be part of the sales team. It
Absolutely.
has to be outside the sales team with a single-minded focus,
So
like a
true.
train. It leaves on time and reaches on time. Again, leaves on time. It reaches on time. Every destination,
Yes, sir.
without even worrying about how many customers or passengers are walking in and walking out.
Absolutely.
It doesn't care. It's like a train. It has to move. In fact, this has taken a very nice shape under Mr. K.S. Rao and the team.
Yes, sir.
So I think these initiatives, when we initially doing, we were doing a small format initiatives with the corporates, working with the distribution community to get new customer acquisition in the country by doing various programs. We have done it with jointly with various forums, including yourself, media, and both print and digital medium,
Yes, sir.
TV medium. We have done that. We also done large formats like Nivesh Mahakumbh,
Yeah.
with a large pool of people who are the first time investors in the country.
Yes, sir.
And whatever the country today has got, large pool of new customers are coming in. In some sense, even we can take credit for making more people to aware about investing in mutual funds. In terms of new initiatives, definitely making more and more women investors participate. One of the new initiatives that we keep debating is about youngsters, millennials, Gen Zs, who are now getting into the, if you look at the next 2 3 years, there will be many people either will get into the work life. There will be people who will become a entrepreneur by themselves, given the fact today people have a choice to become either entrepreneur or employee.
Yes.
So number of people are actually choosing the entrepreneur's route is also rising.
Yes, sir.
Work with all of them and make them aware about the importance of financial planning for the future. Especially entrepreneurs build a corpus for build the business, right? You need resources. They also need to create wealth in the long term. Planning for retirement planning. That's something which will take initiatives. Second, as I mentioned, that you also have people getting into the work life. We also have people who will be moving out of the work life.
Yes,
And
sir.
we have retirement planning. I mean, that's
Yes.
also the large pool of people now maybe Gen Next of say 20 years back. We also had launched a fund with Gen Next targeting 20-year, 25-year, 28-year-old people. Today, the scheme itself has completed the 20, 22 years.
Yes.
That means those who invested then, the 28-year-old person, he'll be completing
Are
58 now.
50.
So therefore, for them, the educating them for protecting their wealth that they have created
Yes, sir.
for the future sustainability. So I think our initiative will be more on making a sustainable investment so that you can make your future more sustainable.
What is your message to all our investors as far as their patience is concerned and how they can create long term wealth through mutual funds, SIPs, etc.?
I think clearly savings now become made easier. I think SIP, you don't need to hard sell. Acceptance of investing at regular interval now is the single point mantra is being applied. I always believe simple is easier said than done. Simple is always difficult to follow.
True.
Complexity, you don't in any case understand, therefore you can ignore it. And simple SIP is such a simple things, you must not ignore it. You should not ignore it. Therefore, making this regular investing as a habit and as if we are spending money, that is what I think we should do. For youngsters, that SIP that you make, don't consider this an investment. If you consider this as a expenditure, and then you forget about the investment, forget about that investment or expenditure,
True.
then the kind of wealth that can be created out of this will be far superior and it will be far even higher than what one would imagine.
Yes.
Therefore, treat this investment as an expenditure, forget about it, and let this investment come into handy for your times of need. And that power of that, I think, one will realize. This is one way to build that. Second, of course, is the is about is like saying is there, start early, drive slowly, reach on time.
Yes.
So this is the mantra is always there, and investments also the same mantra will be applicable. Start early as possible, and continue investing, and drive slowly is nothing but that keep investing it. I'm sure your goal will be reached in terms of destination.
Wow. We just feel like listening to Bala sir continuously because he himself is so humble and sober and simple. And that is what is the message to all my viewers and investors, that make your life very simple and easy with the help of mutual funds, and that too by method of SIP. Whatever wealth I have created in my life is thanks to mutual funds and SIP. All my goals have been achieved thanks to mutual fund and SIP. I am completely debt free today. I have done my retirement planning thanks to mutual funds and SIP. And just to add that I am also Aditya Birla Sun Life Frontline and Birla 95, both SIP 18-year-old client. I've never ever thought of redeeming it or digrating it in some other fund. So focus for all the investors is what Bala sir is mentioning here. You will truly create wealth if you are focused and just leave everything on mutual funds and SIP to do your job. Just one advice from your side for the next generation. Many mutual fund distributors are facing the problem of convincing their next gen to join their business. I personally feel that there is no other business in this world which is better than mutual fund distribution, because we can spread happiness on others' faces and we can give them dignified, confident life with the help of SIP, mutual fund, investments. They can achieve their dreams and goals. So I firmly believe that every youngster should join this business along with their parents. Bala sir, if you'll tell these youngsters, they will listen to you for sure. What's your piece of advice to them?
In fact, we have a program called Legacy
Yes,
Leap.
sir.
We do it at the NISM, the most prestigious institution in the country,
Yes, sir.
for the next generation.
Yes, sir.
The kids of our existing long-time partner of the Aditya Mutual Fund, of the industry as well. We meet them. One message, of course, I tell them is the future is bright and wealth effect is only going to go up, whether it is on per GDP, per cap GDP, or per cap income level. If you take next 5, 6 years or 10 years, this will probably triple and even go up by 3, 4 times. Therefore, your parents' hard work, you don't need to do the same hard work. It will
Sure,
be
sir.
relatively easy. That is one. Second is they also doing good for the customers. This should never be seen only about money. Money is only one part of it, which will come and go. What will stay with the mutual fund industry as a distributor, an advisor, even for the next generation, the impact that you create on your customer for creating wealth to look after their future needs through that wealth effect, through the systematic planning of their investment, the impact of that is going to be a lot higher. The happiness that you derive as a distributor will be far higher than that income that you'll get.
Absolutely.
Therefore, it has to be seen as if I'm doing a service to the nation.
Yes.
I'm seeing service nations, I'm doing good for people. The moment you change the narrative from a distribution and selling it for a commission,
Yes.
so that's not that is one of the outcome, no doubt. But that's not the motive here. The motive is to actually make many people to become good in terms of wealth effect. The more the wealth you are able to create for the customers, the more you can give. You can do charity. We think that wealth is need to be only preserved and go to next generation. You don't need to preserve next generation. You can give. There are many people who needs support.
True, sir.
And there are a lot of social benefits. Even as individual can go. The joy that you get for the customer out of wealth that you create, and for them in turn becoming a giver also to the society. And the cycle is going to be a lot more fruitful, enjoyable, and that happiness that it gives, not just only for yourself as a distributor, the entire family.
Yes.
The more you give benefit to others, the more you get the indirect benefit of your family members. That's why I'm a firm believer. The more you help, the more you get help from indirectly without even asking for it. So that impact you can never assess it, never you can measure it, or you can put a number. We can only feel it. That feel they should bring.
I'm so much touched with such kind words and advice given by Bala sir. And I'm sure all my viewers are also thinking that how they can also give back through wealth creation and mutual fund, SIP. I think there is no substitute for this. So, on that note, I'm just closing this conversation, but so much to learn from you, Bala sir. Every minute was worth discussing with you. And thank you so much for sparing time from your busy schedule. Extremely grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.